Hello and welcome to another AIC video. If you've been a fan of my channel for any length of time, you know that I love inexpensive electronics. That's kind of my thing on this channel, and I find that there can often be a really good deal out there. For the last little while, I've been using a Kindle Fire 7-inch, this is the new generation, as my tablet. I don't need a lot, but I do need a couple of things. I use it for reading books, mainly comic books, and also use it for things like Audible and listening to other types of audiobooks. That way I don't fill up my phone with those. But this is far from perfect. It has some downsides, namely it's smaller screen and it's not so great audio. And then if you want the Google Play Store or Google Chrome for web browsing, anything like that, you have to kind of sideload those. It's not just part of native of the device. So I'm always on the lookout for another Android tablet that might fit my needs a little bit better and give me the full Android experience. Now we're coming up on Black Friday, and so there are already deals out right now, and I found this in my local Walmart. This is a Lenovo Smart Tab M8. I keep wanting to say 8M, but it's M8. And what caught my eye about this was two things. One, the price. It was only $60, $59.99, which is a great price even for a more basic device. But it also came with a dock, so you could see it here, you could charge it without having to plug it in. That's a feature I really like, especially since this comes with just a micro USB charging port. I find them to be a little fragile sometimes on devices, and so I don't have to worry about that with this device because I can just slot it into its charging dock and I'm not having to plug and unplug cables. I also have kids in the house and stuff gets knocked, and I've had cables on even on my Fire tablets broken before, the charging port. And so that's what brought my eye to this and the reason why I purchased it. Now, I've had a few days to actually use the device, and I have to say, it is actually a really good tablet. I am very surprised at how much I've enjoyed using it. I'd like to go over some of the features. First and foremost, when it's in the dock mode, you can have it scroll through pictures, you can have it set up with a clock. There's a lot you can do with it while it's on the dock. That's kind of fun. It has a really nice screen. I was pleasantly surprised at the screen. Obviously, it's not huge megapixel screen. Again, it's a $60 device, but it's very bright, very clear, and very pleasing. You know, you don't feel like you're staring at a pixelated screen. It doesn't hurt my eyes. It looks pretty good. The device as a whole looks pretty good. Definitely, I wouldn't say it feels plasticky or cheap. It feels well made, pretty solid, no hollow sound to it. I can definitely feel like it has a pretty decent sized battery in there by the weight of it. So it feels like a higher priced device than it necessarily. It feels a lot less plasticky and cheap than my Kindle Fire. It also has a couple other really cool features that I really like. It has stereo speakers here on either side of the device. That way, if you have a case or whatever, it's not going to muffle the sound. That's one of my biggest complaints about my Kindle Fire is that the speaker, let me set this down, here is covered up by the case along this edge here. And so as soon as I close the case, it muffles the sound. Like I said, I use it for listening to audiobooks. So this, with its dual speakers, again, it's not amazing sound. It's not, you know, the best thing I've ever heard, but it's loud and it's clear and it sounds pretty good. It doesn't have a lot of bass, but I forgive it for the simple size of the speakers. I wish they were forward facing, but I'd much rather have them side facing than rear facing. A couple other things. It has the option to tap to wake up, and then it also has facial recognition. It took a second there because I had turned it towards myself, but let's try that again. So I lock the device, I unlock the device, and I look at it and it unlocks it for me. I love this feature. I have $1,000 laptops that don't have facial recognition, and yet this $60 tablet does. Awesome. That in itself is an amazing feature. It also has really good battery life. I've been playing a lot of Among Us on this device, and the battery lasts a good long time. It also plays the game great. The graphics are fine. It runs smooth on here. So it's a really good device if you're playing games like this on this device. The one thing I've noticed, let me close out of this, is that I definitely can tell it's not the fastest thing on the planet. There's a little bit of a delay between transitions. And again, it's just not the fastest in the world. It only has 2 gigs of memory, so you have to close out of any background apps you might have running. It does take, like when I load up YouTube right at first, it takes a minute to load, things like that. But I'm not expecting it to run my life. It's a $60 tablet. I just want it to be convenient. And I think that's exactly what this tablet accomplishes, and it does it on an amazing budget price. So if you're looking for a budget tablet this winter for Christmas or other gifts, definitely check out the Lenovo Smart Tab M8. It definitely is a great tablet, especially for the price of $60. Anyways, if you have any thoughts or comments, questions, leave those down in the comment section down below. I'll do my best to answer those. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day.